Back again, folks. It is I, the Donald Wanda, with
the not wonderful old boy.
Yeah, your voice is so mellow and... Oh, wait, welcome back. Glad to have you on. Glad we could do another recording about something that we spoke to death about. And I mean, we got complaints about we actually brought this up too much. Especially considering the live-action adaptation that's never going to fucking happen from James Cameron.
Fuck that guy.
If you don't know what we're talking about, guys, you can see it on the screen, is Metal Angel Alita, also known as...
Gundream or Gun-M.
This is one of the most hailed, famed mangas of all time around the world, actually. It's like unanimously praised for its character development, its action, but it's weird. And I'll get to why I said it's weird. And
it's weird?
It's weird what's happened with it.
Oh, okay.
And why it really still to this day hasn't got the exposure for something so high acclaimed that still hasn't got the awareness or the exposure it deserves, especially in cyberpunk or sci-fi, what have you. But we'll get more into that. Before we do, for those who do not know what Battle Angel really is, and I'm not going to criticize you guys like, you don't know what it is. Old boy's going to give us a synopsis and tell us what it's about, because you did write a lengthy review that's gone into the dust again, so let the people know what Battle Angel Alita is about.
Basically, Battle Angel Alita follows the character Alita or Gali, depending on if you're watching the anime or reading the manga. And she starts out, I don't want to say post-apocalyptic, it's just, it's a cyberpunk setting, so like maybe a dystopian future where basically there's this hovering city above a giant junkyard, and the people living in the junkyard live off of the garbage of the people floating above them. So the story follows this girl who's found by a guy named Dr. Ito, and it follows her life, but it's a very eventful life. To me, it's pretty synonymous with a child discovering who they are and reaching adulthood. I know we just spoke about that journey with Onani Master, but this is a very good story. I'm sorry that Onani Master might have been that close to being Hall of Fame for Don Juan.
I never said that.
But this is, for some people, this will be worthy of Hall of Fame and well deserved.
It is, and it is in my Hall of Fame. Spoiler, but it is. The funny thing is, let me talk about the anime. Back in the day, it was an OVA, but I think it was in the early 90s, and the posters were everywhere. I tried to put it on the screen. The posters for this short OVA was everywhere, and it was, I forgot who animated it. I think it was actually a good studio. It was a cool little action short, and it was a bit of a tragedy, especially with the way the anime ended. And I actually thought, I didn't know it was based off a manga, I just thought it was a short little anime movie, and it was a classic. Even the movie, that little movie, was awesome. The dub was good. The animation for the time was good and clean.
The animation was gorgeous for that time. It was probably for a long time, it was probably the best thing I'd ever seen anime-wise with the artwork.
I don't know if it was better than Akira at the time, but Akira came way before that anyway, to be honest with you. But on a whole, it just really held a special place in my heart. So obviously over the years and through and through the podcast, I didn't know there was a manga to it. But it was you, old boy. It was your review, your critical review, and how you sold it to me, how it was one of the best written mangas, and not just you, but even other people that I've been on the podcast with, like Robert Confan in his top of manga too, and just all over the place. That it was so great that I had to actually go back and read the manga a couple years ago. I think it was 2012. I read the manga, and I was blown away by the characterization, the character development, the manga artwork, and it just, again, it's not the longest manga to my memory.
No, it's only 9 volumes.
Okay. Yeah, and it just came in, had a couple of arcs. It wasn't even just a running story. There was times where it felt like it could have ended, and it just came back and did. There was like 2 places where I thought the story was going to end for her, but it just continued, and then it ended. And when it ended, it was just a really great package. And then it's another series that came after it, Last Order. I'm going to let you talk about that in a moment. But I just want to say that this is one of the best characterized female cyberpunk manga anime stories I've ever seen, and it is disgusting that to this day nothing else has been done with it. I don't even think they've even done like a remastered manga, because some mangas even do get republished and remastered. I don't even think they've actually remastered the manga, and that's disgusting. That's the only word I can think of, to be honest with you.
Yeah, actually, when you point out that it hasn't been remastered, it is pretty disappointing But I don't even know where to begin. I mean, I have so many thoughts about this. It's mostly positive, which I know we just talked about not doing that. But this is like the first manga I ever read. It's not like it is the first manga I ever read, and it had the berserk effect on me, like what you had with Friends. Nothing lives up to this to me when it comes to a character development story. It is the best I've ever read, I've ever watched, ever heard of. And if you've seen the anime but you haven't seen the manga, you kind of know what we're talking about. The anime it has the Akira effect. It only covers like 1/3 of the story, so you're missing out on the other 2 chapters of Alita's life, which is, you basically saw her childhood, you missed her teenage years, and you missed her reaching adulthood in maturity wise. The artwork in the manga is phenomenal, especially considering it came out like the 90s, I think. It's being cyberpunk, it's very detailed and intricate, and you can, as an artist, probably appreciate that. Even if you don't really care about the story that much, you can learn something from reading it. A lot of people mistake this story, in my mind, with action. There's good action in it. It's very innovative and creative and interesting to watch unfold, but it's about the journey of the character. It really is. People who think it's just an action series, they totally missed it, especially with the ending. If they hate the ending and they really like the action, totally missed the point of the story.
Really? People that hate the ending?
That's probably the main criticism this story has, is the abrupt ending, which I'll get to in a little bit. But back to what I was saying, like, if you want to see Battle Angel Alita action, like, that's the focus of the story, read the sequel. The sequel is literally just fighting, and it's still ongoing till today. It's just that creative kind of cyberpunk space fighting, and that's the focus of the whole story.
Well, speaking of the sequel, the reason I don't want to call it a sequel is because it actually is kind of like an alternate, because it cuts off before the original ending and kind of spirals off the tail end near the ending of the original manga. So I like to think of it more as an alternate more than a sequel, because the original has its own ending and this one goes in a different direction before the original ends. So wouldn't it be more appropriate to call it an alternate in that sense?
Yeah, I mean, the author apparently wanted to go the direction the sequel went in, but his boss is like, no, you gotta wrap this shit up. So he gave it a really beautiful ending in my mind.
Thank God.
But basically, it's not really a spoiler alert, because as you read the story, you kind of find out that once in a while characters can die, but they can come back to life a certain way, which I hate that in stories. That's like one of my big pet peeves. But in Battle Angel Alita, the first thing is lots of people die. Like, and you don't expect it. That's one of the things that makes it a really good story, is characters, just like in real life, your life, people come, people go, people live, people die. And in Battle Angel Alita, they're not afraid of killing any of the characters and not bringing them back. So the way that they made this alternate universe is, there's a point in the story where Alita dies, and the original story goes on to its ending. But the alternate universe, she's basically reborn, and the story goes a different path to give you more of that space fighting action that you crave. You know what I mean?
Alita in space. I mean, that was not in the original manga. So,
Actually, it was. It was in the original manga. She was in outer space in her past.
Oh, yes. Sorry, you're right. Sorry, I forgot. I don't count her past because that's even before the manga. But I get what you're saying. That's true. So, guys, what can I say? Again, even though I complain about the manga not being remastered, it also bothers me that he didn't do another anime adaptation. And funny enough, Akira, the biggest known anime of all time, doesn't have another anime adaptation. So I don't know what it is with the Japanese and holding their title so sacred. I actually got into an argument with someone about that's not how Japanese do, and if the mangaka doesn't give it the okay, they're not going to do it. I'm like, you know what, man? It's just a wasted opportunity. And when, animation stories evolve, and to not rejuvenate these stories for next generations, it's a fucking letdown. And like I said, if you want to pick up the manga now for Battle Angel Alita, you got to pick up these stupid old copies while they don't even do like a giant binded new edition. Come on. And to add to that effect, I know I'm going on a ramble here, I'm sorry guys, James Cameron loved the story so much, he was planning, for years, for like a decade, he was talking about it's going to be his project, he was going to put so much into it because it's such a worthwhile story.
Allegedly, he even developed the 3D camera technology for a Battle Angel Alita series.
Well, and then he went and made his magnum opus masterpiece that is Avatar.
That's gross. Don't call it a magnum opus. If that's the extent of his career, I mean, he made a lot of money, but that's not good as a creative
I'm pretty
person.
sure that those were his own words.
Oh,
no. I would think so if he's decided to making 4 movies based on that thing, but I don't want to derail what we're talking about, guys. I'm just saying that it was heartbreaking because I think that alone, that live action adaptation would have given everything I just said, adaptations for the manga, for the anime, for a new anime, whatever. But obviously this is going to be stepped on for another generation. But guys, we're doing the podcast because we do love it to death. Hall of Fame. It's in my Hall of Fame of manga, period. And I don't read a lot of manga, but this one was just held by everyone and it's great. And if you want to talk about female characters anyway, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, people are always complaining there are no good female protagonists. This is a great female protagonist. This is a great protagonist, period.
And she's not even over sexualized because she's a fucking android and her body isn't even done in that stupid anime out of proportion nonsense way.
Well, yeah, it's more than that. It's like you were saying, but she's a fighter, so she doesn't want like, a super voluptuous body. She wants a sleek fighting body.
Yeah, so I mean, what can I say, man? This is a great manga, and honestly, I want to have a binded copy. Oh, I'm not going to get my movie, live action movie, fine. I'm not going to get my adapted anime series, 26 episodes, fine. I just want a remastered manga to put on my bookshelf, and I have to go and buy these volumes that are rare, and to be honest with you, they're old. The anime, I can like the illustration quality, which is okay, even by today's standards, but I want something to pass on to my nephew or my son or whoever, and I don't know why this hasn't happened for something so hailed across the moon, the stars, the universe, in the manga epitome of entertainment, but it hasn't been done, and it's just disgusting. So it's very irritating for me.
Yeah, it's very disappointing for me too. I mean, I was really looking forward to seeing it in America in movie theaters before Cameron bailed. I think it would have done anime, a lot of service actually, not just Battle Angel Alita, but talking about this, I guess you want to call it discussion. We don't really do reviews anymore, huh?
Nah, reviews are boring. And we get criticised for not being professional reviews, which are not anyway, so let's not even bother going down that road anymore. Okay,
so going back to this discussion then, this is a Hall of Fame for me. It's one of the only titles I have in Hall of Fame. I only have 5 of them. This is one of them. This is actually probably my favorite story of all time. I try not to do that because it just depends on what you want and the genres and everything, but personally, I mean, I do have a lot of sentimental feelings attached to Battle Angel Alita, the first manga I ever picked up, but honestly, it's that good. It's probably the best story I've ever read, and I've read a lot of stories.
It's pretty unanimous. It is pretty unanimous across the board, so I guess for the most part, we'll leave it at that. I do want to address a question someone asked, since we always moan about the live action being cancelled. Who would I want to direct it if someone else was going to pick it up? Well, I guess I wouldn't mind. Is it the guy who did District 9, Neil Blomkamp?
I have no idea who that is.
The guy, you didn't watch District 9 about those aliens?
I watched it. I don't know who the director is.
He just did that movie Chappie as well. Chappie.
Didn't see it.
Okay, well, he obviously has a great cinematic vision for robotics and futuristic aliens and stuff. So I think that would be a nice pick, but I don't even think he's aware of it. So, but I will end on saying I think at some point someone will do something with this. I don't know if it's the manga not wanting anyone to touch it or whatever, because that's what a lot of people are telling me.
Well, I mean, hold up a second. I mean, I kind of get where he's coming from, because look at what happened with Priest. It's a great manga, but I don't know what the fuck they did when they brought it overseas into the theaters.
And that's going to be another discussion that old boy's going to get into on another one of his personal cat corner recordings, believe you me. But no, I hear what you're saying. But I had this discussion with someone about Dragon Ball as well, because they're making a new Dragon Ball series, and I was like, why don't they just...
They're making a new Dragon Ball series?
We're not going to get into that, but I'm just saying that, why don't, instead of squashing more story into an existing timeline, which is confusing as fuck at this point, why not just reboot it? And nah, that's Americans doing that, Marvel, DC rebooting shit. Just Japanese don't do that, they're one manga, and if they don't get involved, something happen. I'm like, you know what? You just keep your purist tendencies to yourself, because the mangaka will die one day, and then someone is not going to let these properties die, because they generate a lot of money, and they are very big in Japanese culture, pop culture anyway. So if you think they're going to be purists, that they're going to die, the manga's going to die with the intellectual properties, you're kidding yourself. It's just not how business is run.
It's a good thing that you can't see me. I just put my face in my paws. This is something that really bothers me. This is actually something I like about Battle Angel Alita too, just so you know. But why can't they just use new characters and start a new generation in the same story? Why do they have to keep using Goku and all the same characters?
That's what I said. That's what I always said. I said see, we're going to remember now. But the mythos of Dragon Ball with the Saiyans, that is a premise enough to build a new set of. You don't need to, I know it's business. These people are icons themselves. They are labeled.
No, dude, that's not good. Look at JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That's the prototypical shonen battle manga. And they go generation, new generation, new generation after 2 or 3 story arcs.
The difference is that is like what that anime is known for. That's its thing. It's conceptually, that's what it is. It's not like something they use as a plan, a business plan, which is what we're saying should be done. Which I agree with is a good idea. But I'm just saying JoJo is the exception because that's creatively how the story is written, incarnate. But for other properties, they're like, we don't do that. We're not going to do that with Dragon Ball because you don't fuck with Goku, you don't fuck with Akira Toriyama. Look, guys, we're getting on the man, but you get the point.
I don't give a shit. They love it.
So, guys, you know what? We're going to end the podcast here. But if you want to hear us ramble more freeform style, which we don't do anymore because people weren't listening back then, let us know in the comments down below. But I want to thank the old boy for pushing me to read the manga all those years ago because this was a phenomenal read. And again, guys, Battle Angel Alita is a masterpiece. It's a Hall of Fame. It's great. I don't know how much it's a shame that people don't know its awareness. But you know what? Go out of your way to get the books. And if you can't get the books, then read it online. Sorry, I'm gonna advocate piracy if you can't get your hands on it because it is worth seeing in one shape or form. So
it'll change your perspective on life,
and it'll show you how shitty newer manga anime is. Because I'm sorry, I am a bit of a fuddy-duddy nostalgia critic in that sense. So
it's not even about nostalgia. It's just Battle Angel Alita gave people a form to follow. This is successful, and then they chose the Lovina route. That's our own fucking fault.
Business again.
It's not. Look how successful it is. It's so successful. They didn't need to make any movies. They didn't need to remaster it, like you were saying. They didn't need to do any of that shit. The mangaka was like, no, I'm just gonna rest on my laurels. I'm good. I made enough money.
All right. Well, that's what we're bitching about it right now, isn't it? So.
Yeah.
Guys, if you want to join in the conversation, you can contact the old boy at his Twitter that he never really checks. But if you send him more messages, he will eventually at @the_oldboy, and you can contact me on Planet Tyro Twitter, which is @Planet Tyro. Also, you can hit that like button, which we desperately like for you to do, to let people know that you like our shit, which is
we're all about self-promoting, so please go on our YouTube video and start commenting and subscribing and liking. We have videos where we have like 5. Actually, we have some where we have like 2,000 views and we only have like not even 100 likes.
That's a whole different story. I know why that is, but it is what it is. Anyway, people.
Was that you? Constantly you're watching it?
It just depends on what you talk about. Simple as that. If you do pop culture stuff, more poppy stuff, you're going to get more hits. And if you notice, the pattern is those are the ones that get the most hits. So, yeah, people, I'm putting it out there. So anyway, people, let's leave it at that, guys. Hit that subscribe button to get more videos, and we'll see you on the next one. Say bye.
Can I see you on my Twitter sometime?
Yeah. Say bye. God damn it.
You know, you were talking about the posters. I actually have a cameo for one of them. It's the movie Spliced, right?
Yeah.
There's a Battle Angel Alita poster in it.
Catface, say goodbye to the people, God damn it.
No, I don't like showmanship.
Okay, well, we'll just...
Okay, no, I was just kidding. Bye.